since I didn't preach yesterday, not going to have kind of a major theme throughout the week, but we'll do try to do some fun stuff that's helpful throughout the week together. And I want us just to I want you to go think about something that's a little more prevalent this time of year. In early January 2010, coming off of the 2009 college football season, that was an important date in this state where I live here in Alabama. And a lot of Alabama fans were excited about that game between Alabama and Texas for the college football national championship. As the game unfolded, that would be the game in which Nick Saban captured his first national title here at Alabama. And so, in a lot of ways, that game is looked at as an important game in this state because of what was on the line and because of that victory and because of the success of his process and of hiring him. But as big of an Alabama fan as I am, and I loved winning that game, the most important moment of that game happened after the final whistle, and it had nothing to do with who won, or I guess it kind of did, but it didn't have anything to do with the play of the game, with a memorable moment from the champions. But instead, it came off the lips and from the heart of Colt McCoy, the Texas quarterback, who was injured early in that game. And he was asked by the reporter there on the sidelines following the game, what was it like to have to watch your team play in this game with all this at stake and you not be able to play? And of course, he was certainly emotional, as would anyone have been. And it was tough, too, because he wasn't really injured. He just couldn't feel his arm. It was numb, and so he couldn't risk further damage. It's certainly a demoralizing situation. And yet at the close of his answer, he had some mature things to say. He complimented Alabama. He complimented his teammates and how they fought hard. He felt bad that he could not play with them. But then he closed by saying, but you know what? I've always given God the glory. That win or lose, injured or not, I've always given God the glory. And because of him, I know that no matter what happens, I'm always standing on the rock. And so that was the most important part of that game, because here are millions of people wondering what this young man is going to say when his dreams have been dashed, his hopes dashed, he's graduating, no chance of a national championship anymore. What will he say? And he says, I'm okay with it. I'm fine, because I give God the glory no matter what. Now see, I'm blessed and thankful and humbled that I can preach every week, every Sunday, and teach classes weekly. But I'll never reach as many people in one setting as Colt McCoy did that night. Millions of people with their eyeballs turned toward the TV, wondering how he's going to respond to this difficult situation, says, I give God the glory. And we know Colt to be a fine Christian young man, one who influences others through his life. But because of his involvement in sports and because he was a champion at heart, because it was through his faith, he was able to reach people that I would never, and so many other preachers will never be able to reach. And it's because he decided to give his life to the Lord, and thus in this moment of disappointment and heartache and things had gone differently than he expected, he was able to give God the glory in a way that we can never be able to do. And so sometimes it's easy for preachers like me and maybe Bible class teachers and youth ministers to speak negatively about things like sports. You know, they're an enemy, that they don't have any value, or that they only can detract from the message of the gospel. And yet Colt McCoy and James Franklin and so many others over the years have shown that they can lead other people to Christ and to illuminate the glory of God through their involvement in sports. Now, it can be abused and misused, absolutely, but so can any good thing. So can family time. So can our jobs. So can any other practice outside of our faith, our grades, our academics. Those things can be abused as well. So, but think about the power of entertainment and sports and how he was able to reach millions and millions of people because of his faith and how it intersected with disappointment and injury in this case. And so what a blessing and what an opportunity for people to look at his life and to see that he was glorifying God. Isn't that exactly what Jesus told us our mission, our purpose was to be? That let our light so shine before men so that they'll see our good works. See, millions of people saw Colt's good works, his words, his humble spirit. And then he says he gave glory to God. Well, then we were able to see his Father, his God, and glorify Him in heaven. Jesus said that in Matthew 5, and Colt lived that out on that night in early January 2010. I'm thankful for people, for athletes, young men and young women who leverage those relationships and leverage that influence through sports for the glory of God. And may we have the courage to do the same and not inappropriately assign something like sports as the enemy. It's okay to participate in those. And in fact, it's a good thing to participate in those and reach other people. It's good to have those extra opportunities so that we can reach people with the gospel about Christ. It's okay to talk about those things, to post about those things, because we're reaching people with the gospel.